YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. I'm tired. I've been out getting some work done in the yard and everything. Guess what? I'm the cleanup hitter. I go to my day job all day. CA always announces everything at 9 a.m. my time, which means that I have exactly like 7 or 8 hours of work left by the time they announce everything. And it's always on a work day. And since I'm not a full-time YouTuber and I don't live in Europe, I'm always the last one to the news. But that's okay. Being last isn't always the worst thing to happen. I'm excited though, and that's why I'm making this video. What am I excited for? Well, if you haven't seen the news, you need to go check it out. I'm gonna play it here. I'm gonna cut the sound down just a little bit so it's not gonna be too crazy loud, and I want you to go watch this on Total War's channel, okay? Basically, you get a Jurassic Park scene here. Must go faster, you know, that whole thing. So there's a new DLC coming for Total War Warhammer 2, and this is the Hunter and the Beast. Alright, this is going to introduce 2 new lords, and you're going to see both of those lords here. This is the Hunts Marshal. I believe it's Wolfheart. We'll just kind of let you watch what's going on. Obviously, there's new units here. There's going to be archers for the Empire. There's going to be these war wagons, which are mobile gun platforms. And clearly, the Empire is going to have starts in Lustria, and they're going to be trying to plunder some nice loot from the temples of the Lizardmen. So this is going to be cool to see, and this is the Lizardmen Defender here. I forget his name. We'll pick it up here in just a minute. But obviously, we got a new Kroxigor Lord here. That large dinosaur you see there, and yes, he's large, bigger than anything that's been in the game before. That is, what is it, a Dread Saurian, I believe is what it's called. So yeah, this is going to be out September 11th, so y'all be ready for it. In fact, I'm thinking I may go ahead and just make September 11th the day that I take off work. It's Nakai. Okay, the Nakai. Okay, sorry, I didn't remember his name. It hits me. I don't know this lore like crazy. So what is this DLC? What is it going to add to the game? I will give you all just a quick rundown. I don't know the lore background on these guys a whole lot, but one thing that I really wanted to see in Total War Warhammer was the Empire get reworked, have some unique start positions, make the Electra count system more interesting, and this DLC is going to be the bulwark around which we get that as a free LC, right? So this DLC should be pretty interesting. You get 2 new legendary lords, as we mentioned, is going to be the Hunts Marshal. And that's Wolfheart, Marcus Wolfheart, the Hunts Marshal, and he leads an expedition that's playable in both the Vortex campaign and in Mortal Empires, and the same goes for Nakai and his faction of Lizardmen. We'll get to them in just a minute, but the Hunts Marshal is a fairly unique Empire faction. Basically, they have this mechanic called Emperor's Mandate, and what it is as they get into Lustria and start to expand or win battles, or get loot, or do all these crazy things. Basically, the Emperor starts to pour out more and more help to this expedition because it's bringing glory and power for the Empire. And that means units and all kinds of other stuff that you're going to get. So hostility is going to be like kind of a counter to that, which obviously the locals aren't going to be real happy about all the plundering and expansion. And as hostility builds up, it can eventually get to a peak where a Lizardmen task force gets dispatched, and obviously they're there to kill you. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff. There's 4 hunters that are scattered throughout the New World as well, and Wolfric can go on these different missions in order to unlock them. And it mentions them here. You have, and I imagine these are going to be hero units that can join your army. You got Jorok Grimm. He's a master engineer. It sounds like a dwarf. Definitely an interesting one there, but I mean, I'm assuming if it's a dwarf, or did they add a new class here? I think it's a dwarf. We got Roderick Leanguil, which was a paladin. It says he's disgraced. You're going to learn more about him. Obviously, they're not telling you everything about these characters. Hertwig von Hell was a physician and witch hunter. And then Kalara of Widrioth here, which is an eminent waystalker, so a wood elf. So there's these different hunters that you can get to join your cause if you so choose. Really cool deal. And then it talks to us a little bit about Wolfheart here. He's a ranged combatant. It says powerful armor-piercing bow, which deals damage to large targets. So he's obviously going to be focused on bringing down these huge lizardmen monsters. He has a well-deserved reputation as the ultimate monster hunter. So very interesting to see this. Very interesting to see how he plays out. And how this is going to change the Empire with some of the new units. There's a new lord, like just kind of a generic type lord, the Huntsman General, which is obviously going to be a similar type role to what Wolfheart plays. The Empire now has archers, and it says this is the backbone of Wolfheart's hunting parties. They're cheap, and they are able to put a lot of fire down, so I imagine these are going to be non-armor piercing, probably similar to Bretonnian peasant archers. There is a Regiment of Renown version of them, the Death Jacks that'll be there that have stalk and snipe. Huntsman is going to be like a slightly higher tier archer. It says they have Vanguard deployment and stalk, which is going to be really cool. They can move, or can fire while moving also, so it's going to be a very interesting one to see how that plays in. They have a bigger range and a better accuracy. And then, of course, there's a Regiment Renowned version of them, which is the White Wolves. And it's going to have ruthless melee capabilities to go along with it, so it makes them a hybrid. War Wagon was what you saw running away from the Dread Saurian there, and it's going to be an interesting unit. Basically, the 6 riflemen are in a back of one version of it. They can move around, they can fire, and cause armor-piercing damage. There's a mortar version of it, which is going to be a mobile artillery platform. And then there is Regiment of Renown, the Black Lions, which is the same War Wagon, but it has a Hellblaster volley gun. That was the one we also saw in the video. Going to be very interesting to see how these play out and see how it becomes part of the Empire arsenal. Very, very interested in that. Nakai the Wanderer, the Spirit of the Jungle, is going to be the new Kroxigor Lord available for the Lizardmen if you buy the DLC. The Spirit of the Jungle, I believe, is his faction. And it's kind of a horde faction in a way. And I'm going to read this so I get it right. Nakai's faction, the Spirit of the Jungle, offers a unique variation on horde gameplay. Each army in his faction, when placed in the encampment stance, you can build at that point. And when you go out of encampment, that obviously those buildings come with you. If the horde is destroyed in battle, all of its infrastructure is lost. And it says only Nakai's, and I may be saying this wrong, but I'm going to say it this way for now, personal horde can unlock units for recruitment, so he is critical for recruitment. The other hordes, though, just have support type buildings that can have impacts on recruitment cost and so on. So his horde is the critical one in terms of recruitment, which makes it a slightly different horde mechanic. They have this Defense of the Great Plan, which basically you get a vassal faction called the Defenders of the Great Plan. If you take a settlement, you can choose to give it to them or you can raise it. So you're not going to directly own settlements, but you can kind of own them with this puppet faction that will be available to you. Warm Blood Invaders. This is another one. It says in the Eye of the Vortex campaign, Nakai must fight to keep Lustri in the rightful hands of the Lizardmen. Several Empire colonies have been established, and each is encroaching on the jungle. They must be dealt with. So this is going to be very interesting. And then it looks like you're trying to hunt down the hunters as Nakai. And if you do, then you can get this epic final confrontation battle that they talk about, which sounds like it's going to be absolutely awesome. It's like this final confrontation between Marcus Wolfheart and Nakai. So very much looking forward to that. They have some unique rights that come with them here. I'm not going to read absolutely everything here. And then Nakai the Wanderer, he is, it says here, let's read it. It says high armor, health, melee attack, and weapon strength. He's a powerful brawler. All right, so he's going to be a melee lord. I would imagine that we're talking about AP damage too, since he's a Kroxigor. It says some abilities he has here. Miasma of Despair, which is going to be a debuff on speed, vigor, and leadership. And then there's Primal Roar, which is going to be physical resistance and melee attack. And it grants Rampage to allies. I don't know how that's going to help, but I guess Rampage does slightly increase stats, but that's pretty risky, sounds like to me. Golden Tributes is going to be perfect vigor for everything that's in range. That's actually crazy cool. That means that these guys are going to be good at just fighting and fighting and fighting. Some new units that come in. Ancient Kroxigors. Going to be obviously a more powerful unit of Kroxigors. Going to be very interested to see how that plays in. I'm guessing probably just a heavier hitting version of Kroxigors. It does say they're still anti-infantry and well-armored. We have a Feral Dread Saurian here. So that huge monster you saw in the video was probably this Dread Saurian or the Shredder, which is a Regiment of Renown. That'd be my guess based off what we were seeing in that video. These guys are bigger than Connorseurs, but they also say that their cost is going to reflect it. And it says melee behemoths, elite killing melee behemoths, towering walls. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these play out. Sacred Croxagores, hard-hitting monstrous infantry are great all-arounders with weapon strength and magical attacks. They can plow through against a greater variety of foes than standard. So Sacred Croxagore is going to be a very nice addition to the Lizardmen. That actually gives them some nice punching power against any ethereal units that get brought onto the battlefield. We get a Sacred Croxagore Regiment of Renown there too. There's going to be these Razor Dawn hunting packs too, which is going to be kind of like a Pterodon, right? Obviously they're called Razor Dawns, and they're flying, and they have like shotguns because it says grape shot style volleys. Are these going to be the new flying blunderbuss cav? I don't know. We'll see. If y'all were around in Shogun 2, you're probably still having PTSD over all that. Anyway, there's some more links that you all need to go check out. I opened it right here. I'll try and leave this in the description. If not, you can see right here. It's at Total War blog. And you can go see the Hunter and the Beast. There's a whole bunch more frequently asked questions that they go through and a whole bunch more information about what to expect from this. CA did give me access to some in-game screenshots here that we could use for the content, so I'm just going to zoom up on this, let you all see it. So this is just one of the screenshots that came. Obviously, we can see this is probably the Regiment of Renown Dread Saurian. I'm going to guess right here that you're seeing one of those. Actually, that could be. I think that's a Nikkei, and then maybe a. This is going to be probably that Sacred Croxagore back behind him, or the other new variant. You can see war wagons over here. I'm guessing that there's two different variants of archers here. They look very similar. I'm going to guess that one of these is the Regiment of Renown and one is the standard one. So just kind of interesting stuff we can see here. Very, very beautiful looking armies here. And you can see Marcus Wolfhart right here in the center too. Let's swap over to another one of these screenshots. This is another nice one here where we can see Nikaya here taking out, see those Croxagores in the background, these archers wishing that they had never lived. So I'm going to zoom out of that one there too, and let's head over, check out another. These were really, really high fidelity screenshots, very good looking. There's the Hunts Marshal, in case you all wanted to see him up close. Obviously got some archers around him. Check out the sweet looking Salamander hunting pack models that are in there. That's absolutely awesome. The bow there with the magical ambience on it. So the Hunts Marshal looking like he's going to be an absolutely sick addition to the game. If you're an Empire player, I don't understand how you wouldn't be excited. I mean, they're not a main for me, but I love playing Empire. This looks like one of the hunters here, that witch hunter. Actually, it's all four of the hunters. Sorry, I just realized that as it came in. So here's the four hunter characters, obviously. And I guessed right. Look at it. I got the dwarf right by the name. Anyway, we see them here in front of some war wagons. So they are going to be available to help out your armies in combat, which is pretty exciting. The fact that you get these interesting mix units. And I'm really curious to see how this plays in multiplayer. It's going to be interesting. Dread Saurians running around and all these new hunters and special units. Yeah, it's always a fun deal in multiplayer. I actually see a Lord up here flying on the Griffin as well. So very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff from Creative Assembly. Cannot wait to see this. There is a free LC. Okay. So here is the new Lord. It's Gore Rock. So a legendary Lord, Gore Rock. And it says keep an eye out for more information on him. I'm sure you all can go ahead and start Googling to find out a little bit more about who he is. They've obviously changed a lot of stuff here, though. There's other things you need to go into this blog and read. Balthasar Gelt gets a new starting position. Folks, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Can't wait for the DLC. Tell me what your thoughts are. What are you most excited for? Unit, Lord, mechanic? Get down in the comments. Let's chat it up. Let's have a good conversation about what we're excited for in this DLC. Hope you all enjoyed this. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you soon.